Hey guys, Antrim here, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. And today is part 1 of the Minecraft patch 1.3 survival guide. And if you guys take a look in the description below, you're going to notice every single documented piece of information about 1.3 that I could find, with the exception of bug fixes and maybe the super minor updates here and there. And you notice that I also have them separated into separate categories. So you see the top category is new items, options, things, and then there's mechanics, and then there's multiplayer specific, redstone mechanics, menus, commands, enchanting, look and feel, etc, etc. The way that these different parts are going to be working is I'm going to be going through those sections and knocking absolutely everything out that I can, and I'm not going to be trying to deviate too much from that, although in this first part there's going to be an exception, because if you guys take a look at the new options and things, I don't have the new single player commands listed, and I don't have the new creative mode thing listed, but I'm going to be talking about it in this video. So if I end up talking about it again in a different part, then you guys will know why I repeated myself. So anyways, let's just go ahead and let's get started here so this doesn't become a half an hour long adventure. So anyways, if I go ahead and I hit single player here, and then I go to create new world, I hit more old options, there are a couple of new options, and one of them is to allow cheats, which is basically the single player commands that I'm going to be talking about here in just a minute, and the other one is the bonus chest. So when you spawn a new map and you turn the bonus chest option on, you're going to have a little chest spawn next to you at the spawn point. I believe it's anywhere, about 10 blocks away from you or something like that, and said chest will have a chance of spawning anything like wood, wooden planks, sticks, stone or wooden pickaxes, stone or wooden axes, regular tree axes, bread, and red apples. So it'll spawn any random mixture of that. And there's also a new world type called large biomes. So it's basically your regular default world, except with massive biomes. And I would feel really, really bad for you if you spawned in the middle of a jungle biome, because those things suck to traverse in large biomes. So anyways, let's just go ahead and let's hit done here. Allow cheats on, bonus cheats on, and let's just do a large biomes just for fun. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into creative mode here, and then we will hit create new world and see what sort of fun loving place we spawn into here. So we spawn in a swamp biome. So as you can see over here, there's a nice little chest here, and because each of these blocks that were right next to the chest were flat and on the same level as it, then torches spawned right next to the chest. As you can see here, a whole bunch of apples, a whole bunch of wood, a whole bunch of pickaxes. That is way too many wooden pickaxes. You only really need one. No need for 3 of them, because by the time you use up one, you should probably have your stone tools. Although, I mean, something like this is more or less meant for your newbie sort of Minecraft player, just to give them an idea of how things work. I think a crafting bench would have been more useful, but, like as one of the items that can spawn. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to exit out of this mode here, and then we are going to go into our 1.3 map, where I will cover the creative mode inventory, the single player commands, and then everything else that has to do with the list that I have here. So anyways, let's go into single player here, go to 1.3 survival guide. And now let's get into the new creative mode inventory. So when you hit E, or whatever your inventory key is, you're going to see a brand new inventory. So you can see that there are a whole ton of tabs here: building blocks, decoration blocks, redstone, transportation, miscellaneous foodstuffs, tools, combat, brewing, and materials. So if we go ahead and we click on each of these specific tabs, you can obviously see any sort of redstone related things are going to wind up in this tab here. Transportation things are going to wind up in this tab, miscellaneous things are going to wind up in this tab, food stuff, so on and so forth. It's pretty obvious judging by the title, but this is really not the sort of thing, like this is not the cream de la crop of the new creative mode inventory. The cream de la crop is the search items feature. So if you click on search items, you can sort of see this is the regular standard looking creative mode inventory, but let's just say I wanted to look for something like a trapdoor. Typically I'd have to search through all of this here. I'd have to, okay, so I have to acknowledge to myself that it is in fact a block, so it's probably going to be on the top half here. Just looking here, looking, and I am actually not seeing it. I'm sure it's popped up in my view at least once, but the point is I am not seeing it. Well, now with the search items feature, all I have to do is type in the word trap, and there we go. Trapdoor. Yeah, if I want to use a trapdoor for whatever reason, all I have to do is type that in. I don't have to go through the painstaking process of searching through the creative mode inventory. So if I want diamonds, for example, let's just say, hey, I want myself some diamond armor. I want diamond armor. Give me that diamond armor. then I can go ahead and I can equip the diamond armor. And speaking of armor, since I'm in creative mode, usually you could not equip armor. But now on the bottom right here, you can see it says survival inventory. And now I can, I can click and drag this stuff into my inventory. Though if you shift click on it, it will disappear. So do not shift click on it. Even though you're in creative mode and you could get another one back, shift clicking it will not put it into these slots. Though if you were in survival mode, shift clicking would put it into these spots. So that's kind of a nifty little change here. So anyways, that's pretty much the new creative mode inventory in a nutshell. So let's go ahead and let's hit escape here. And now let's get into the new single player commands here. So when you hit T on your keyboard, you're going to notice the little multiplayer menu thing pop up, well, the multiplayer chat thing. And if I go ahead and I hit the, if I hit type in slash and then I hit tab, you're going to see all of the available commands. So I can do game mode, I can do /give, /seed, TP, kill, XP, debug, time, toggle downfall, help, default game mode, /me, and /publish and /?. So let's just do /?, just for the heck of it here. So you can see all of the useful commands and then all of these sub things that you're going to need for them. So let's go ahead, let's see, you're showing page 1 of 2, so /help2. So you can see all of the commands and then everything they do. So like, for example, if you needed to know the specific sort of like way a command works. So for example, it's turning nighttime here. So if I wanted to set the time today, on certain servers, you might type in like time day, but that doesn't work here. So the way you want to type it in here is /time add, and I'm going to do 12,000. And that is going to reverse, approximately reverse the sun and the moon location there. So the moon is going to, the sun, yeah, the moon's going to be right there. Yeah, it's daylight and the moon's right in front of the sun, guys. So anyways, yeah, so it basically flips them around so it becomes daytime here. If I go ahead and I do that again, /question, or let's just say /help. There you go. So /kill would kill me. I don't want to do that because this is nowhere near my spawn point. Let's just do like /give. Well, I don't need to do a /give command because I'm in single player. But if you turn this into a LAN server, for example, and I'll explain that here in a little bit, then, you would be able to give your items to your friends. So let's go ahead and let's type in game mode. And then also, once you type in this part of a command, so for with the example game mode, if I hit tab, you'll also see the available options for that. So /game mode survival, creative, adventure. And adventure is a new game type as well that I want to mention while I'm talking about the single player commands. So when you put yourself into adventure mode, or if you start your map out by default on adventure mode, which is what the default, what is it? This command right here, default game mode. So that's essentially what that does. That command sets the default game mode for anyone new logging into the map. Adventure mode basically does not let you punch items or anything like that. It doesn't let you interact with the environment as far as destroying things go or placing items, but it does allow you to interact with entities and things like chests and stuff like that, and it allows me to punch villagers. Yeah. So you can still do damage to mobs as well, any sort of hostile mob, and mobs will still be hostile to you. That much doesn't change. It just doesn't let you interact with the environment here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in /game mode here. I'll tab into creative mode, and there we go. So we are back into creative mode here. So that's pretty much how the single player commands work in a nutshell. So now let's get down to the nitty gritty of 1.3 here, and let's talk about the new items that have been implemented into 1.3. So if you take a look in this chest here, you can see that there is the editable books, which are, also called the book and quill. And if we take a look in here, you can see the book and quills are right here. And the way that the book and quills are made is by putting a feather, a book, and an ink sac and a crafting bench. And that's how you make it. And the book recipe itself has also changed. It requires a piece of leather. So if you see, if I take this out here, let's just go ahead and let's toss these in at random here. Random. Yes, that's right. You can make a book by making the pages not even line up. But yeah, so you can place the paper wherever you want. It doesn't matter. You can still do it the same way you would normally do it and then just throw leather in there. Whatever. It'll create you a book. But I don't want to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and I am going to redeposit these items here. And now I am going to take out the book and quill to show you guys how it works. So once you have the book and quill in hand, you just right click on it and you can see page 1 of 1. You can start typing your narrative novel within Minecraft. Once upon a time in the land of Herobrine. Wait, what is it? 'Twas a warrior by the name of Notch. I don't even know. I mean, in Minecraft lore, Herobrine is Notch's brother, so that wouldn't really make any sense, I guess. But anyways, so I could go ahead and I could type whatever I wanted here. I could hit the little arrow key, and then I could say, page 2 has no content. Lol. Yeah, and I can go ahead and I can hit done, and this book will remain editable, you know, whenever. I could, you know, toss it around, whatever. I could throw it on the ground, and then I could pick it back up, and then right-click on it again, and you will see it will have the same text that it had in it before. And once you're all done with the book itself, you go ahead and you hit sign here. You'll see that I can enter a book title, through Herobrine on... Oh, I can't type it all in. I was going to say through Herobrine on the ground, but it didn't work. But anyway, so I'll hit sign and close here. Through Herobrine. There we go. And then the book is going to flash, you know, a little bit. And then you can see now it has the enchantment looking effect on it. So you can see it says Through Herobrine on there by Ant Venom. And I right click on it and I can read the book. So this isn't really going to be too practical for regular everyday users, but what this is going to be practical for is map makers in creating a story that doesn't require you to open text files while you play their map, or listen to videos or something like that, or listen to audio tracks. It doesn't require that. Now you get this and you can create the voice for yourself. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's deposit this into the chest here. And speaking of chest, we're going to move on to the ender chest. So the ender chest is really quite simple in principle. It is a universal bank that copies itself between every single chest. So if I right click on the chest here, you can see there are all kinds of emeralds and all, you know, both types of golden apples. You know, just absolutely everything. I could steal that emerald from there. You see that it's stolen from this chest, and it's stolen from this chest. But, you know, just to make things interesting, I'm going to swipe things all around so you guys don't think I'm planning anything or anything like that. Let's go ahead and let's stack these up here. Let's do a stackaroo there. There we go. We go back to this ender chest, and it is the same thing. So it locks the formation of whatever blocks are in there, you know. So it's just basically a chest that's universal between every world, because this also works in the Nether and in the End as well. And when the final ender chest is destroyed, then your items go bye-bye. They don't pop. I'm not sure. I don't believe they pop out of the last chest. I believe they just simply go bye-bye. So yeah, yeah. But although it could be a possibility if you placed another ender chest down that you'll be able to see all of your items again. So I think that's how it works. I just don't want to be, I don't want to call it out 100% because I didn't actually study that much. There's so much information to study for 1.3. Some things just didn't end up getting researched, and this was one of them. And if you guys want to know how these are made, let me go ahead and let me give myself, you know, wooden oak planks and then an eye of the ender. Now let's go ahead and let's make this thing here. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's throw this in here. There we go, just like this, just like this. Okay, that is not how that's made. I believe it actually uses obsidian. So let's go ahead and let's snag some obsidian here. And if that's not it, I'm going to feel like a total derp. And if it's not obsidian, I'll just annotate it on the screen or something. So let's go ahead and let's get an eye of ender here. Eye of ender, there we go. So let's go ahead and let's toss the obsidian in here and then throw the eye of ender in the center. And yeah, I was pretty confident that's how you made the ender chest. So there we go. So anyways, the next thing that I want to cover, speaking of all of these emeralds and all of these golden apples, speaking of the golden apples first, there is a new golden apple recipe added. So if you see here, you notice that these are not the same golden apples. Currently, or at least previously I should say, in Minecraft 1.2.5, the only golden apple recipe that existed required gold nuggets, and the recipe didn't, well, the golden apple itself didn't really give you a whole lot. It gave you like 5 seconds of regeneration, and that was kind of it. So it was really a big letdown. But now the gold block recipe has been added back into the game. So let me go ahead and let me snag a whole bunch of gold blocks here, a whole bunch of apples, and let's just go to town. Let's do 1 apple in here, and then gold block, gold block, gold block, 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 block. And now I have myself 2 very shiny golden apples. And I'm not 100% sure of the effects. I know that I have them written down, but I just... Oh, okay, so I do have it right here. The second golden apple, made with gold blocks, gives regeneration 4, plus resistance, plus fire resistance for 5 minutes. So you get quite the effect of this. I obviously can't eat it right now because I'm in creative mode, but yeah, now there is a new reason to craft the good golden apples because they just might be a lifesaver for you. And plus fire resistance, I mean, you can walk through lava with that stuff. So if you come up to a huge lava lake or something and you need to cross it, well, you have yourselves an option now if you decide to make yourself the super advanced golden apple. So anyways, moving on here. Speaking of emeralds, there is a new block added. Well, a couple of new blocks actually, called the emerald. And this block right here will spawn randomly throughout your brandly new generated worlds. So obviously, any worlds that have already been generated will not have any emeralds until you start entering some new areas. But this isn't too rare or anything like that. It's mainly just used for villager trading that I'm going to get into here in just a second. And if you go into a crafting bench here and you take a whole bunch of emeralds, just like you would with diamond, iron, or gold, you can make a block of emerald out of it. And yeah, fundamentally useless, more or less just used to compact the amount of emeralds that you have. But speaking of emeralds, if we go ahead and we right click on these specific villagers here, you will notice that a little trading menu will pop up. And if I go ahead and I drop down an emerald there, you can see that I will get 5 melons for my trade. And if you trade with the villagers enough times, you're going to see a little, what is it, like a potion effect sort of look happen to them. Though I've already traded with this villager before. And then you're going to get new options to go by. So if I had 10 gravel and 1 emerald, I could go ahead and I could trade that for 3 flint. If my luck was really that bad digging up gravel, which I don't think it is. So I don't think this trade would be very worth it. But I would do it just to move up to the next sort of line, the next line anyways. And there is a chance after you do so many trades with, you know, a certain option that it will go away. So let's just go ahead and let's see if he removes it here. Yeah, so as you can see, he removed that option because I had used it too many times. So yeah, and the different types of villagers. The brown robe is just the farmer, so he's gonna give me you know, he's gonna give me farm type stuff, and apparently flint as well. The white apron guy here is going to be the butcher. So as you can see here, let me go ahead and let me do a couple of trades here. So let's do that, see what his next option is. So obviously because he was the butcher, he got the leather. Looks like it's turning nighttime here again. Time add 12,000. Yeah, give me that time back. So as you can see here, yeah, so butcher, for 15 raw beef, he will give me 1 emerald. That is a really bad trade on my part, guy. Like, no, you suck for giving me that trade. Don't ever trade with me again. So the next one is the purple robe, which is the priest, which will enchant your items for you. Well, he'll do various other things, but mainly, you know, it's things of that nature. The white robe guy is the librarian, so if I trade him 13 books, he will give me 1. What is up with all of these stupid enchants? Oh, I hate you so much. And the black apron guy is the blacksmith, obviously. So if I go ahead and I give him 9 emeralds here, he will give me an iron sword. Honestly, not that bad of a trade. You know, it allows me to kill you, or you, or you, or you. I actually did end up killing one of them there. So anyways, let me go ahead and let me go to the next trade window here. Yeah, 7 emeralds for, you know, it's the equivalent of 7 emeralds for 1 diamond. Not terrible, not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but let's just go ahead and let's give him a couple more here, see what his next option is, because the blacksmith is personally my favorite one to trade with. Okay, there we go. Let's see what his next option is. And 10 for an axe. So that's a pretty good trade, I'd say. I like you. I know we can be friends. We can do business together. There is no lies in you. There is no lying in you. Yeah. So anyways, moving on here to the next thing is tripwires. Now, I didn't actually document how to make tripwires, but the link to the, well, how do I want to do this here? What I'll do is I'll put the recipe on screen right here. I'll put it right on screen. I was going to link off to the Minecraft wiki, but no. Recipe is going to be on screen right here for the tripwire blocks themselves. And so basically what you do is you take 2 blocks and then like, so let me go ahead and let's see here. Yeah, search items. I got to remember that. So tripwire, it's kind of funny, if you type in TRI, the 2 things you get are actually the 2 required things to make tripwire work. So basically what you have to do is you have to place the 2 tripwire hooks across from each other, and then you connect them, not with emeralds, but with string. And then you notice that these kind of connected downwards there. You could sort of see it happen. You can see that. And these things can also float as well, so they'll respond to you in midair here. But they'd still have to be... So let's do this here really quick. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. And let's connect some of these in midair, actually. You know, just so you guys can see that this does in fact work. So anyways, let's see here. Let's see. Is that going to work? Is that going to work? Looks like it's derping out a little bit. Oh, I'm trying to place down tripwire hooks. That's why. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's connect some of these in midair here, and then I'll destroy this one that's on the ground. So if I walk through this one that's sitting in midair here, it does in fact work. And another property of these things, so besides from just walking through them, you can shoot arrows at them and it will respond to them. Let me go ahead and let me take that arrow back, and it will also respond to items flowing through them. So you can even see the top one is responding to this one flowing through it. So yeah, all right, so that's essentially how that works in a nutshell. And let me go ahead and let me snag some redstone here. So if you guys are confused as to, you know, what the whole point of this is, let me go ahead and let me destroy this here. Let me destroy this. So it's going to output a redstone signal on the side of which the redstone, like not the redstone, the tripwire is. So you see it outputs a redstone signal on every side, so you can trigger traps or whatever sort of twisted happiness that you want to do in your twisted little Minecraft world. So the next things that I want to talk about, well, you know, involve wood. As you can see here, there's a lot of wooden things that are here. So there are now a separate color staircase for each different style of wood. So you can see this is the jungle, the birch, and the pine. And also another thing to note, let me get rid of this stuff right here because this is not needed. I'll demonstrate that here in just a second. The wood is now rotatable. It acts just like pistons when you go to set it down. So let me go ahead and let me get some oak wood here. And you notice that when I place it on the ground here, when I'm sort of at a sideways angle, it places itself sideways. And then when I place it from more of a top-down angle here, just like this, you notice that it places it upwards. So if you want to rotate the wood all around, you know, you're looking for some sort of effect or something, or you're just, in general, just looking, you know, to place your wood sideways, then there you go. So placing it from any side, you know, it'll rotate towards you and all that good stuff. So anyways, the next thing that I want to talk about is jungle trees here. So now jungle trees, when you go into a new jungle biome, will spawn these new cocoa plants. So cocoa plants are brand new. Let me go ahead and let me type in / game mode and then space survival. And now if I go ahead and I punch this out here, you notice that when I punch these out, oh, and by the way, these ones right here are absolutely fully grown because they've had a really, like, a long amount of time to fester on these trees here. Whoa, okay, yeah, the vine's covering that up. That's kind of weird. So you notice now, I got myself a whole bunch of cocoa beans from that. So now no longer are cocoa beans only obtainable from dungeon chests. You can now get them from these, and by right-clicking with the cocoa beans, oh, and by the way, cocoa beans got a new texture as well. Just something random I thought I'd throw in there. When you right-click on using cocoa beans on a jungle tree, and it only works on a jungle tree, by the way. I tried it with every other tree, and it didn't work. You right-click with them, and it will plant the cocoa plant on a tree. And this is the first stage of growing. This is the second stage of growing. And then this is the, I believe, the third stage of growing. It's either the third or the fourth. And depending on when you punch it out will depend on how many cocoa beans you actually get back from that little investment / growth that you decided to do. So yeah, all you have to do is just wait for this to take a while to grow, and you will be good to go. So if you guys want to make farms of this stuff, just get a whole bunch of jungle wood, and you will be good to go. And you will be making tons and tons and tons and tons of cookies in no time. So yeah, actually there are two more things that I want to mention before I have to go to a different map for this. So the second to last thing that I want to mention is that now from this guy right here, you can now get chainmail armor. So some of the options that you can get from here are chainmail armor. You know, it still is craftable in game, but you have to obtain fire to get it, and fire is only obtainable through something like too many items. So the only legitimate way to get chainmail right now is through this guy right here that I am punching back and forth. He's having a blast. You know, he ain't complaining. Hey, you want some cocoa beans? You want some cocoa beans? Yeah, that's delicious. It doesn't taste anything like chocolate in its current state, but there you go. Okay, so I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this because I have so many notes, but I believe the very last thing that I want to talk about before having to switch over to a new map is that, ooh, okay, yeah, okay, I'm in survival mode. Let me go ahead and let me switch my game mode over to creative here. Creative. There we go. So now in the creative mode inventory here, there is also a new block. It's not necessarily a new block to the game, but if you guys remember, while going into strongholds and stuff, every now and then you would dig up a block that would yield a silverfish. These are the blocks that actually do that. So if you want to implement these into your map or into your custom map or something like that, then now you can do it with relative ease. You could always do it beforehand, but now it can be done easily through the creative menu here. So now what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be switching over to another map in an attempt to find a jungle, a jungle temple. And then afterwards I am going to be finding a pyramid, and then we are going to end off this part because it is already stretching its limits at this point. Though thankfully I've pretty much gotten through everything that I've wanted to get through in a fairly short amount of time. Oh, and another thing I want to keep in mind, that I want you guys to keep in mind, is that I am not covering everything in this part. This is part 1 of probably 5 or 6 parts. So yeah, so anyways, let's go ahead and let's switch over to the new map and see if we find a pyramid or the jungle area. Actually, maybe I should fly off into this way. Let's see if we're gonna find a jungle temple in this jungle biome. I wonder. So there we go, we have actually found a pyramid, and within this very same biome, because you notice that I am so far away, I have also found a new type of mob village, because something else that I almost forgot to mention is that mob villages now change the way they look depending on what biome they're in, and more prominently right now, the main change happens when you go into a desert biome and a village spawns within this desert biome. So it has a whole different look here. So yeah, like the houses themselves don't really contrast that much from the desert itself. Not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. Might make it really hard to find your home if you were in the middle of the desert, almost dying, and everything was like a haze. It might make it really hard to find your home. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's head off into this direction here. We do have to head off for quite a long way. So something else I thought I would say before I get there is that I recorded this video once already, and it took me 30 minutes. And come to find out that my microphone was set to push to talk in order to record it. So I got none of the audio, so I had to do it all over again. But anyway, so now we have found up here, this is where the entrance is. So once you see this little, the front facing thing right here, you will know that this is the entrance to this pyramid here. So if we go ahead and we dive right in here, actually, okay, it's right over here. So as you can see, the front entrance is right here. We could head off up to the front here. We could head off to the sides, which sort of leads up here. And then this whole thing sort of doubles back on itself. And yeah, those are the upstairs areas of the pyramids in a nutshell. But if you dig where this wool is, I wouldn't dig where the blue wool is. You don't want to cut the blue wire, but you want to cut one of the orange wires. And when you cut that, you notice that underneath here there is this little sort of storage room. If we can take a look at all this, just give me all of your loot. Give me your loot with your bones and your iron ingots. Where are your diamonds? I know there's got to be diamonds around here somewhere. So anyways, ooh, pressure plate. Oh, I feel like I've made a grave mistake. No, I knew all about that. So when you hit the pressure plate, it sets off a whole bunch of TNT. So if you are looting those chests and you do not know about that, then you, my friend, are royally screwed. You will probably most likely wind up dying a really painful TNT death. So yeah, those are the pyramids in a nutshell, and now we are going to go over to a jungle temple to end off this video. So let's go ahead and let's find ourselves a jungle here. Where is there a jungle? Let's fly off here somewhere. Let's find ourselves a jungle. Alright, so now we have ourselves the jungle temple, the final part of this video. So anyways, the jungle temple is very simple. So they spawn randomly in any jungle. They're actually quite rare, so if you do wind up coming across one, definitely be sure to raid it. It is the second thing besides regular dungeons that can spawn mossy cobblestone. So let's go ahead and let's just launch right into it here. So going down this way, if we go down right here, and then, okay, so in this case, it looks like I need to take a left. So you want to traverse this area very carefully. You can see that there's tripwire on the ground, so just avoid being in front of that hidden dispenser that's right there. Let's go ahead and let's loot the chest here that has next to nothing in it. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's head out of here. And now, these little switches right here, I'm not really too sure what if there's any specific order that opens them up. Let's give that a try here. Doesn't appear as if that was the order. Let's see here. Let's try this. Let's see if that did the trick. Nope. Okay, that didn't do the trick. That wasn't the trick. So messing with these a little bit, you can get an approximate order of where... Okay, yeah. Oh, there we go. So that was it. There we go. So now there's a chest in here that holds the real spoils. The iron, the diamonds, and the gold, and the butter boots, and the bones, and everything. So that's essentially all there is to the, you know, the jungle temples themselves. Honestly, nothing too special right now, only aside from the fact that, now, redstone and sticky pistons spawn naturally in the world. So if you do happen to find one, rate it for everything that it's got, because it may be more useful for you than you might think. You can even steal these arrows out of here, I guess, if you really feel so inclined to. Yeah, give me them arrows. Give me them arrows. And you can get plenty of redstone too, so just absolutely raid this thing, tear it apart, and you will have yourselves a good time. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much going to conclude part 1 of the 1.3 survival guide. Yeah, I know that I most definitely did not cover everything in this video. Pretty much everything you guys are going to need to know if you want to know everything today is going to be in the description below, with all of the information and all of the organized information that I have listed there. And as I said, I'm going to be making these parts based off of that information. So if you are more of a visual person and you want to really know how things work, then feel free to wait up on those videos that I'm going to be releasing over the course of the next couple of days. So anyways, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed this video. My name is Venom, and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching.